want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Pain for their disease. Rage is like a weed. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and as you can see, I am not in my normal location, so if the lighting looks a little bit off, if I seem a little bit dark, it's because I am not in my usual location, specifically because the old location is going through some re-innovation. So when I heard the news that I needed to move locations, I even contemplated not coming on here. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why I'm here, because honest to God, who the fuck cares about NXT to begin with? But regardless, I am still here. It is TGI Tuesday here on the channel. I haven't had one of these in a long time, actually. Have not had one of these in a long time. So we are indeed turning up on a Thursday. Excuse me, not a Thursday. It is TGI Tuesday. I'm getting all my days fucking mixed up. This is what happens when I have to move locations. This is what happens when I need to move locations and I need to completely re-innovate and reset up and put everything in a different spot. This is what happens. I'm all out of sorts. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, thank you very much for watching, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you who are watching here. I appreciate DD, and I appreciate Jalitza. You both are fantastic. I greatly appreciate both of you coming on in and spending your Tuesday evenings with me. It is indeed WrestleMania week. It is indeed WrestleMania week, and we are rocking and rolling. Oh, Jalitza, absolutely everyone. Absolutely everyone, because everybody loves DJ Storms. And if you guys are unaware, the reason why I've been contemplating even doing this is because this is indeed the rundown for NXT Stand and Deliver 2023, which of course is streaming live this Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m., technically 10 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, because it is indeed taking place in Los Angeles, California, legitimately hours before WrestleMania night number 1. And I'm not going to bullshit you. We've gotten some fairly decent NXT episodes on Tuesdays. Some decent ones, but really nothing over the top. A few decent ones here and there. The pay-per-views, for the most part, Deadline and Vengeance Day, they've been pretty decent. I'm not going to sit here and say they've been jack shit horrible, but at the end of the day, NXT is just such a dead fucking brand. It really is. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I honestly feel like Ring of Honor has more heat behind it than NXT does. And Ring of Honor only just recently started up their television show this month on Honor Club, where you got to pay $9.99. But we are here. We are live. We are going to go over everything that is taking place this Saturday afternoon before WrestleMania Night 1. Thank you to Peanuts and Dylan and Philly Sports Talk Podcast for joining in as well. Greatly appreciate you guys spending your Tuesday evening watching me and talking NXT Stand and Deliver. We're going to have a fun night regardless. NXT is actually going on right now, but it is a pre-taped show. It is a pre-taped show, so not many people are really watching it. Not many people are really watching it, and I personally don't think many people really care for it, if I'm going to be quite honest. But we are going to have a very fun time. We are going to relax. We're going to talk some professional wrestling. Should be fun. Should be fun. Before we get into what we're going to get into, obviously, please, guys, make sure that you follow me on social media at History Maker DJS. That is at History Maker DJS, both on Twitter and Instagram. Both on Twitter and Instagram. Both of those links are in the description. In the description. Please make sure that you follow me on Facebook. We are actually streaming live from my personal Facebook. Hopefully the connection does not glitch out whatsoever. Hopefully everything works out fairly decently. Of course, be sure to like the official DJ Storms business page if you have not already done so. And of course, for collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. And if you like the official DJ Storms business page, I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. Once again, that is on Facebook, so please go and check that out if you have not already done so. Of course, please go and follow all of the Hardcore Sports social media links, including the Twitch down there at Hardcore Sports 1, Instagram at Hardcore Sports Network, Twitter at Hardcore Sports N, and the YouTube channel, which we are streaming live on, Hardcore Sports Network. Shout out to my girl Brittany K, who is an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. She does phenomenal designs, drawings, and edits on an iPad from scratch, and she has some fantastic designs if you are interested, including designs of the House of Black and Jon Moxley and Jay Briscoe and Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt. She is multi-talented at what she does, so please, if you guys have not checked her out, please go and check her out. Both of her social media links are indeed in the description of this very stream. Of course, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you share out the stream on all platforms, social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using. Get as many people in here as we possibly can, because everybody needs a little piece of DJ Storms. Everybody needs a little piece of DJ Storms, and everyone needs some DJ Storms in their life during WrestleMania week, especially, because it's the biggest fucking week of the year when it comes to being a professional wrestling fan. Of course, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're watching on both my YouTube channel and the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe on both of those channels. Be sure that you are building up both of our brands. We are itching closer and closer to 400 subs. Yes, you heard me correctly. We are itching closer and closer to 400 subs on the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. Please go and check that out if you have not already done so. And of course, hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube, because it is the only time that you won't get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. I got my magical, beautiful ace comb. We're going to light it up right here on a Tuesday with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like Campbell's chicken noodle possibilities, I am just so good. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. You know it. I know it. Everybody in the IWC, they know it. But we are not going to waste any more time. We are going to get straight into the festivities here on the channel. We are going to dissect, preview, and predict NXT Stand and Deliver. You got any questions concerning Stand and Deliver? Please let me know. We're going to start off with the NXT Women's Championship ladder match. This is Tiffany Stratton, Gigi Dolan, Lyra Valkyria, Zoe Stark, and recently qualified Indy Hartwell. She recently qualified on this recent episode of NXT television, which was pre-taped but is airing right now. Apparently, they vacated the NXT Women's Championship. For those of you that have not been watching, although I don't know why any of you would watch, they vacated the NXT Women's Championship because of an undisclosed injury to Roxanne Perez. Now, I don't know why they decided to take the title off of Roxanne Perez. Really makes no sense to me, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. On top of that, word from Dave Meltzer is that she is indeed cleared. She is indeed cleared, so I don't really know why they took the championship off her. Seems kind of stupid, if you ask me. But then again, this is Shawn Michaels NXT, and Shawn Michaels, he is still ingrained in the Vince McMahon way of doing things, which is quite frankly pathetic, if you ask me. But apparently, Roxanne Perez is indeed cleared. Why they took the title off her, I have no fucking idea. I actually think that that was a terrible fucking move. And if she's already cleared now, then you may as well put her in the match as if she never lost the championship. Matter of fact, I would have had her defend the championship in a ladder match. But who am I? Who am I? No, all that aside, nonetheless, regardless, I do believe that this will be the crowning achievement that Tiffany Stratton has been looking for. By the way, shout out to Chad Schrader, who is celebrating his 29th birthday. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Chad Schrader for celebrating his 29th birthday. This Sunday, actually, is the most important date in human history, which is my birthday. That is my birthday. So if you guys are wondering, I will be turning 24. I will be turning 24 this Sunday, April 2nd. Again, the most important date in human history. No human date is as important. But I do believe that this ladder match will indeed be the crowning achievement of Tiffany Stratton. I do believe that they were grooming Tiffany Stratton from the beginning. We can clearly see that she has gotten better in the ring going forward. We can clearly see that she has exceeded many of people's expectations. I can feel it myself. She has exceeded many individuals' expectations if you have been watching Tiffany Stratton. And I do believe that this will indeed be her crowning achievement, and Tiffany Stratton will indeed become the new NXT Women's Champion. I'm not sure how this ladder match is going to go. Recently, we have seen rather shitty women's ladder matches over the course of the last couple years, mainly because of the fact that they put too many women in these ladder matches. They put 8 women in the ladder match. If you ask me, it should realistically only be 5 women. 5 individuals, a ladder match is a very nice sweet spot. Now, with the Reach for the Sky ladder match, we got 5 fucking teams. That's a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal, but I'd like to hope that that will at least go somewhat smoothly. I'd like to hope that that will at least go somewhat smoothly. But I take a look at this specific matchup right here. No woman really feels out of place outside of Gigi Dolan. Gigi Dolan, I've mentioned this before. She's just not it. She's not it. She's not ready. Her promo skills and her backstory is fine, but in terms of an in-ring perspective, Gigi Dolan is just not there. She's just not there. I'm not sure how long she's been doing this. I'm not sure who exactly trained her, but she just doesn't have it. She's just not there. I'm not really sure what she has to do. I'm not sure what she has to go through in order to get to where she needs to be. But Gigi Dolan is not a very good professional wrestler. I've stated this numerous amounts of times. Her and JC were carried by Mandy Rose in Toxic Attraction. And then once Mandy left, you may as well not even have Toxic Attraction around. And they broke up Toxic Attraction. Now they're doing single shit. Gigi Dolan's in the ladder match. She's the only one that kind of feels out of place. Lyra Valkyria and Zoe Stark, if you ask me, are the top two women in that match, bar none. Top two women in that match, bar none. Lyra Valkyria, if you are not familiar with her, I have been watching NXT UK since the very beginning. I have seen every single NXT UK episode there was in its existence until the very end of NXT UK, towards the end of 2022, going into Worlds Collide. And I'm telling you, everything about NXT UK was great, including Lyra Valkyria. She was fantastic, especially her match against Meiko Satomura. If you did not see it, please go out of your way to look up old NXT UK episodes. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. You will thoroughly enjoy it. But I do believe that this match will probably be in contention for kicking off the show. It would really make sense. That's what they did last year. They kicked off the show last year with a North American Championship ladder match. I'm not really sure why they wouldn't do the same this year. So it realistically makes sense for the women's ladder match to kick off the show, and then they end with the NXT Championship. But I do believe that in the end, when the dust settles, when everything is said and done, we will indeed be looking at Tiffany Stratton as the new NXT Women's Champion. She is, bar none, one of the best new female recruits, probably one of the best new NXT recruits since the rebranding of NXT, and they killed Black and Gold. Vince and Bruce, when they killed Black and Gold, they brought on Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has probably been one of the best recruits that they've had in this new era of NXT, and it will be her time indeed at Stand and Deliver. Afterwards, I'm not really sure where they go. I definitely do believe that they could build up a Lyra Valkyria, possibly to face off against Tiffany Stratton. The one thing that I'm keeping on my mind is Nikita Lyons. Nikita Lyons, of course, she is out injured right now. I'm not sure when she's going to be back. I'm not sure how serious this tear really is. Apparently, is it an ACL or an MCL? I don't know. She tore it a couple months back. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of Miss Nikita Lyons. I do hope that she recovers quite quickly, because in the end, I do believe that they have heavy investment in Nikita Lyons. It just all depends on if she can stay healthy. This is the second major knee injury that she's had, and she's kind of been bitten by the injury bug pretty badly. She's kind of followed the Hideo Itami route, if you will, and the terrible amount of injuries that he's had. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's like, as soon as he got to NXT, it's like he was fucking cursed. Really, really. But I'd like to hope that Nikita gets back very, very quickly, and I do believe that Nikita Lyons and Tiffany Stratton, that is a mega women's match that they are planning for down in NXT when both women are at their peak. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Kiana James and Fallon Henley. This is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I don't know why they even bothered putting this match on the show. Now, I'm not going to discredit the wrestling ability of any of these women. All four of these women are just fine in the ring. Alba Fire and Miss Isla Dawn being the better of the duo, because they are the better professional wrestlers. But all four women are decent in the ring. I'm not going to discredit them as far as an in-ring perspective. But at the end of the day, please answer me this question. Do you give a shit? Do you give a shit about the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships? Because I don't. And I don't care. I don't give a shit about the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I don't understand why anyone would. Apparently, Bayley posted some cryptic message. Bayley posted some cryptic message about the women's tag team title. She posted a picture of herself where she looked at the NXT, or not the NXT, the WWE women's tag team titles, and she just wrote in the caption, "I'm sorry." Not really sure what that means, not really sure what she is trying to say, but nevertheless, that is definitely something to keep in mind. I'm not sure if that means that the NXT women's tag team titles or the WWE women's tag team titles, I'm not sure if that means they are going bye-bye. I'd like to hope that it does mean that they're going bye-bye, because at the end of the day, the women's tag team titles were a complete waste of time. A complete waste of time. I didn't give a shit about it, and quite frankly, I'm not sure why anyone would give a shit about it. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Women's tag team titles, they just do not work. We don't need to continuously push this fucking agenda of, oh, if the men have it, then the women gotta have it. No, we don't. I'm sorry to tell you, but women's wrestling just is not a major attraction. It just is not a draw. No matter what anyone wants to tell me, it's just not there. It's just not a draw. They missed the opportunity to do that when Ronda Rousey left the first time around. And when Ronda Rousey left the first time around, she left the division better than she found it. And what did they do? They feuded Becky Lynch with Lacey Evans coming out of WrestleMania 35. After Becky Lynch had won the main event of WrestleMania, and they feuded her with Lacey fucking Evans. No one really gives a shit about this match. I don't. Now, it could be a decent match. Could be a decent match. I'm not going to discredit these four women in terms of an in-ring perspective. It could be a decent match in the end when this is all said and done. But at the end of the day, do you care? I don't. I don't. And I'm sure that no one in this chat cares about the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships either. I don't even know why they were instated. But either way, I do believe that this is ultimately going to end with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn winning the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. And we are going to see this storyline between Kiana James and Fallon Henley ultimately end, because apparently it's a storyline of who's cheating on Brooks Jensen. And then they want to wonder why no one fucking watches NXT. They want to wonder why I'm not watching NXT, and I've elected to stream about the actual pay-per-view going down on Saturday rather than watch their shit program on Tuesday nights. Regardless, we're going to get NXT Women's Tag Team Champions crowned in the form of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I don't really see any fucking reason as to why Kiana James and Fallon Henley should win this match. I'm still wondering why they took the fucking titles off of Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. They should have been the ones going into NXT, Stand and Deliver, fighting Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. That should have been the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. The fact that it's not is quite fucking pathetic, if you ask me. That you gotta put a fucking petty love triangle with Brooks Jensen and Kiana James in there, and Kiana James is apparently cheating on Brooks Jensen, and they're trying to figure out, and Fallon Henley's trying to figure out who's cheating on Brooks Jensen with Kiana James, and what the fuck's going on there. It's fucking stupid. Stupid. We will indeed get new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions in the form of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And just like the team of Kiana James and Fallon Henley, just like the team of Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, although I love those two women to death. No one's going to care about the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. They're just not. I'm sorry, they're just not. Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller, unsanctioned match. This is actually probably one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most. Johnny Gargano, Grayson Waller, unsanctioned match, because this is a storyline that is tying up loose ends. It is a storyline that is a storyline that is going to really solidify the end of Johnny Gargano in NXT in a similar fashion in which last year at Stand and Deliver, Tommaso Ciampa came to his end in NXT when he fought Tony D'Angelo at NXT Stand and Deliver 2022 in Dallas before WrestleMania Night 1. It's going to be a very, very symbolic match. It's going to be a very symbolic moment. And I do believe that in the end, Grayson Waller is ultimately going to win here. I don't really see a reason for Johnny Gargano to win this, because at the end of the day, Johnny Gargano, he is not really going anywhere in NXT. To be quite honest with you, he's not really going anywhere on the main roster either, which is actually quite fucking pathetic. It's actually quite fucking sad, if you ask me, that he's not going anywhere on the main roster. Quite fucking pathetic, quite fucking sad. But then again, now this is WWE we're talking about, and Vince McMahon, clearly, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Vince is clearly back in charge. But Johnny, I don't understand why he would win this match. It makes sense for Grayson Waller to win. And if anything, this could very well put Grayson Waller in contention for the NXT North American Championship. He's not going to be winning the NXT Championship. It's not his time yet. The NXT Championship is not in Grayson Waller's future just yet. It could be in his future. In due time. But in the end, I do believe that Grayson Waller is going to be catapulted into the NXT North American Championship title scene. And I do believe that whoever the NXT North American Champion is, towards the end of the year, Grayson Waller is indeed going to win that championship. That championship really fits him like a glove. It really does fit him like a glove. And the championship just has Grayson Waller's name written all over it. And the winner of the Fatal 5-Way for the NXT North American Championship, which we will talk about in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. That right there could very well determine when Grayson Waller inevitably gets the NXT North American Championship. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. But as far as this match goes, I do believe that this match is going to be in contention for match of the night. And I do believe that Grayson Waller will inevitably become the NXT North American Champion in due time. It's all going to start here. It's all going to start with this victory over Johnny Gargano. It's going to start with Grayson Waller inevitably getting the victory over Johnny Gargano. It's going to be a competitive match. It's going to be a hard-fought match. It's going to be very, very heartfelt. It's going to be emotional for Johnny Gargano. But in the end, all of this is inevitably setting up a push for Grayson Waller. And whoever the NXT North American Champion is at the end of that Fatal 5-Way, that will inevitably determine when Grayson Waller gets the NXT North American Championship. I don't see the NXT Championship in Grayson Waller's future because right now, Carmelo Hayes is going to be dominating the main event scene. But the NXT North American Championship, I am telling you, that championship was fucking bred for someone like Grayson Waller. And I do believe that 2023 could very well end up being a breakout year for Grayson Waller. And it's going to start with a victory in this unsanctioned match over Johnny Gargano. Let's talk about Gallus, Tony D'Angelo, and Stacks. Tony D. Forget about it. Tony D and Stacks, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and the Creed brothers. This is a triple threat tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Now, I did not think that they were going to go with a triple threat match, but apparently they are. Now, if you ask me, I would have probably just done a 2v2 match with the Creed brothers and Gallus, because I actually do want to see that match 2v2 straight up, but we will be getting it in a triple threat form at NXT Stand and Deliver. By the way, shout out to Mr. Earl Cole. Earl Cole is currently in the chat. Good evening to you, Earl Cole, sir. Yes, I know, I'm not in my normal location. The old location is doing some reinvention, and I contemplated even coming on here, but I am on here. We're talking about NXT Stand and Deliver. We're talking about the NXT Tag Team Championship match. If you got anything to say about this match, Earl, please sound off in the chat. Everyone else as well, anyone that wants to talk about Stand and Deliver, please sound off in the chat. Once again, thank you to everyone for joining in. Shout out to Alex Mercado as well for coming on in and supporting the DJ Storms brand. We got these three teams, and I do believe that we're going to get a competitive match. I'm not sure if it's going to be in a similar light as what we got last year, because last year we got the Creed brothers in a triple threat tag team match with Imperium and MSK. That was right before Nash Carter unjustifiably got fired, which was actually quite fucking stupid if you ask me. But nevertheless, Gallus, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, and if you ask me, Gallus is probably the best representation for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and I have been loving what Gallus has been doing. They are just two big guys that go out there, they beat the shit out of people. It's a fun thing to watch. I am very, very happy that Gallus are the NXT Tag Team Champions. They're probably one of the very few acts that are worth investing your time in when it comes to NXT on Tuesday nights. Gallus is fantastic. Tony D'Angelo and Stax, I do have a feeling that they will be building them up to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. And for all we know, they could very well be pulling the trigger on Tony D'Angelo and Stax at Stand and Deliver. Do I think that is the right decision? No, I do not. That is not the right decision if you ask me. I would wait. Why? Gallus just won the titles. Gallus just won the titles at the last NXT Premium Live event at Vengeance Day in Charlotte, North Carolina. You're really going to take the titles off of them after 2 months? What sense does that make? How is that good business? How is that good creative writing to take the titles off of Gallus after 2 months? No, the best option for Gallus right now is that they retain. You can do a couple more matches with Gallus going into the next NXT Premium Live event, which is going to be NXT In Your House, probably at the beginning of June. Probably on June 3rd, maybe? I think the first Saturday in June is June 3rd. And if you ask me, if you're going to do NXT In Your House, that is probably the best option to have Gallus drop the NXT Tag Team Championships, because at least at that point, they would have held it for a little bit longer. So if you ask me, I would give Gallus the win here. I would absolutely have Gallus retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. It doesn't really make any sense for them to lose the championships this early in their run. And you're already contemplating taking the championships off of them. I would have just done the 2v2 match with the Creed brothers. Now, we could still get that going forward, but at the end, I do believe that the right decision, the right outcome here would be Gallus retaining the championships. With Gallus retaining the championships, you would be able to tell a decent little story of Tony D'Angelo and Stax fighting their way uphill to get a rematch against someone like a Gallus. Gallus right now are great heels at what they do, and Tony D'Angelo and Stax, they've kind of been trending into those babyface waters. Now, I prefer Tony D'Angelo as a heel, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, but Tony D'Angelo and Stax, they've been treading towards those babyface waters. They want to experiment with that. They want to give the babyfaces a good chase, then build them up going into NXT In Your House in the beginning of June, and then you can pull the trigger on Tony D'Angelo and Stax. Gallus right now, you elected to give them the championships over the New Day back at Vengeance Day. You don't just want to take it off them now, because then why even bother giving it to them? Champs retain at Stand and Deliver. That is the best option to go forth with. We got ourselves, probably, in my opinion, the match that could inevitably be the match of the night. This is a fatal five-way. This is the Wesley fatal five-way open challenge for the NXT North American Championship. This is Wesley. This is Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov, J.D. McDonough, and Axiom. Fatal 5-way for the NXT North American Championship, and a match that could inevitably steal the show, and it could inevitably be a match that rivals anything that goes down at WrestleMania across both nights. You just take a look at the talent in this match. This match is going to give you every reason why it could very well be match of the night, if you ask me. I think these 5 individuals are just going to bring everything they have. They're going to be flying all over the place. You know we're going to get some crazy shit with Wesley. You know that. Axiom, I don't know what the fuck happened with A-Kid, but it's like as soon as he put the mask on, I don't know what it is. It's like he became more exciting to watch in the ring. I don't know what it was. With A-Kid being A-Kid, he didn't really need to change anything about him, but to me, it was almost like he was a little too technical when he was A-Kid, if you know what I'm saying. He was just a little too technical when he was A-Kid. Then we had Axiom be born, and it seems as though he's adopted more of that high-flying, cruiserweight-like aspects, and he decided, you know what, I'm just going to go balls to the wall. And I don't mind the outfit. The outfit looks decent. The name's cool. Axiom. He moves fluidly in the ring. You can have a great match with a fucking broomstick. So I don't know what it is, but I actually find Axiom more appealing than A-Kid. I don't even believe that I'm saying that. Then you got J.D. McDonough and Ilya Dragunov. I mean, J.D. McDonough, he is legitimately the second coming of Finn Balor. The second coming of Finn Balor. The guy should be a multi-time champion in multiple aspects for years to come. The guy's fucking phenomenal at what he does. Absolutely fantastic at what he does. Then you got Ilya Dragunov, who should easily fucking be on the main roster right now. Ilya Dragunov should easily be on the main roster right now, but they're keeping him in NXT, and I do believe that Ilya Dragunov will inevitably be a challenger for Carmelo Hayes. That is a match that I actually want to see. Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. I pretty much gave my prediction away as to who's going to win the main event, but either way, I love Ilya Dragunov. I love what he's doing. And then you got Dragon Lee. You got Dragon Lee, who is a new upstart here in NXT. Not really an upstart. He's been a veteran of the game. He is the brother of Rush and Dralistico, who we see on Ring of Honor television. I would have to say that this match is probably the most unpredictable. I'd have to say that this match is probably the most unpredictable. I can't really give you a clear-cut winner as to who's going to win this match. I really can't. It is actually pretty difficult for me to give everyone a straightforward answer as to who's going to win this match, specifically because of the fact that there's just so much great talent in this match that you could honestly make a case for anyone to win this match. And I've been a huge advocate of the NXT North American Championship title picture. I have said, and I quote, if there is one positive thing about the new generation of NXT, it's the fact that the NXT North American Championship title picture has been fucking great. It really has. The NXT North, it has been banger after banger. It's like fucking Sheamus. Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Great stuff in the NXT North American Championship title picture. And again, you can honestly make a case for anyone. To win this match. But ultimately, I'm trying to narrow it down to two individuals. Specifically. I'm trying to narrow it down to either Wesley or Dragon Lee. It's a battle of the Lees. It's a battle of the Lees. Now, if Dragon Lee wins this, I would not be surprised, specifically because if you guys were aware of this, Dragon Lee has specifically stated that he does not plan on staying in NXT for very long. So if he's not going to stay on NXT for very long, you may as well get some good use out of him in NXT. You may as well get some good use out of him, and you may as well give him the NXT North American Championship. I wouldn't mind it. Think about the matches that we can get. Dragon Lee and Axiom. Dragon Lee and Nathan Fraser. Dragon Lee and J.D. McDonough. Dragon Lee and Ilya Dragunov. Dragon Lee and fucking Tyler Bate. I mean, like, holy shit. These are fucking WrestleMania-worthy matches that I'm naming off over here. Fucking WrestleMania matches that I'm naming off over here. But either way, Dragon Lee is definitely a high candidate to win the NXT North American Championship. Wes Lee is also a candidate to retain the NXT North American Championship. Wes Lee, he is an individual that has really risen above all of the naysayers when people pretty much wrote him off, pretty much dubbed his career dead. They dubbed his career dead when Nash Carter was released. Wes Lee proved every single fucking one of them wrong. He has had a great reign, if we're going to be quite honest here. He has superseded a lot of people's expectations as the NXT North American Champion, and I am very, very, very impressed with everything that Wes Lee has been doing. And if you want my honest take on this, I would not mind if Wes Lee retains. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind at all if Wes Lee retains. And you know why? Because if Wes Lee retains, this means that at NXT in Your House, we could be looking at Wes Lee versus Grayson Waller for the NXT North American Championship, and we could get that championship on Grayson Waller sooner rather than later. Grayson Waller, I said, it all depends on who comes out victorious in this Fatal 5-Way. Whoever comes out victorious in this Fatal 5-Way is ultimately going to be the one to drop the championship to Grayson Waller. I cannot see anyone else winning that championship this year other than Grayson Waller. Whoever walks out victorious here absolutely is the man to drop it to Grayson Waller. Now, I don't know. I was originally leaning a little bit more towards Dragon Lee, but after hearing myself talk about that, I don't know. Maybe I'm leaning a little bit more towards Wes Lee. I think Earl Cole in the chat, Earl Cole, he actually said he thinks Wes Lee is going to retain. He actually thinks Wes Lee is going to retain. You know what, Earl? I would not mind that. If we're getting Grayson Waller and Wes Lee at the NXT In Your House premium live event sometime in June, I would not mind that whatsoever. I may have to agree with Earl Cole here. I think I may go with Wes Lee. I won't be surprised if Dragon Lee wins, but I think I may have to go with Wes Lee here. Let's take a break from the preview and predictions for a minute. I actually got an injury report. Let's switch over to AEW's side of things. And just so you know, I am going to be going through some news, rumors, and reports specifically because there is no LFU on Saturday. If you guys are unaware, this is a special week. It's WrestleMania week. There is no LFU on Saturday. I will be doing a dual rewind. That is right, a dual rewind for Supercard of Honor and Stand and Deliver on Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. in between Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Night 1. It's going to be a busy weekend for me. This Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, after Stand and Deliver is over. After it's over, I will be live. We will be talking about both pay-per-views. We'll be talking about both Stand and Deliver and Supercard of Honor. So I am just getting some news, rumors, and reports out of the way here. I got a report from Brian Alvarez. He actually stated that Matt Jackson is indeed injured. So the injury angle with the Bucks, that was not just for storyline purposes. That was indeed to cover up a legit injury, because apparently Matt Jackson, according to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, Matt Jackson has a partially torn bicep. That happened in the match that they had in Canada, which, as you know, was the Elite versus the Jericho Appreciation Society versus the House of Black for the AEW World Trios Championships, which resulted in the House of Black retaining. And he apparently partially tore his bicep early on in the match, and he worked the whole match with it. He probably found out about that afterwards, and apparently there is no surgery that is going to be required, because if he was to get surgery, it would take about 6 months to heal. So instead, Matt Jackson is going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus, and my guess is that he just wants to heal up a little bit. He wants to heal up a little bit because inevitably we are headed towards a Blackpool Combat Club versus Elite Blood and Guts match. And that is probably taking place in June, or maybe we could be headed towards another Anarchy in the Arena match. And Matt Jackson just wants to get through this feud, and then once this feud is over, then if he needs the surgery, then he'll go and get the surgery. So that is what is going on there with Matt Jackson. If you are wondering, that storyline was not just for a storyline purpose. That was specifically because we indeed have an injured young buck on our hands. We indeed have an injured young buck on our hands. I know a lot of people have been talking about the Jon Moxley, Renee Paquette Oral Sessions podcast sit-down. And apparently, everyone's blowing it up and trying to make it more serious than it really is. I'm not really going to waste too much time on it. I'm just going to throw it out there. People really need to stop fucking clickbaiting. It was not as serious as everyone is making it out to be. Jon Moxley never bashed AEW. He just does not want anything to do with the drama. If anything, Jon Moxley went about it in the most professional manner that you could possibly go about. The most professional manner that you could possibly go about. Not even fucking bullshitting you. And apparently, CM Punk, according to Wade Keller, the sentiment is that he's not welcome back. I mean, after what happened with that recent Instagram post, I don't see why he would be wanted back. But apparently, Chris Jericho, he said he would love to work with CM Punk again on Twitter. So I honestly don't know who to believe. I'm not sure if this is all turning into a work, if we're all just being played for fools. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I really don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not sure who to believe. I'm not sure who to trust. I am not sure what the fuck is going on. But Jon Moxley, if you ask me, after the interview that he had, he proved to me to be as fucking professional as you could possibly fucking be. He is legitimately what he says he is. He is the ace. He is the ace of AEW, and he is to be treated as such. He is the fucking ace. He is absolutely fantastic. He's great. He's great. Moving on here, let's get back to the NXT preview and predictions. We got about 2 more matches left. We got ourselves a match that was recently announced last week on NXT. Another match that, again, I don't know why they put on the fucking show. Tyler Bate and Chase U versus Schism. This is for the rights to Chase U. Listen. I'm not going to lie to you. Chase U has grown on me. I'm not going to lie to you. Chase U has indeed grown on me. Chase U is fantastic at what they do. I think that Chase U has done a very good job at playing up to their role and doing what they do, and the gimmick, and the Chase U chants. Everything about it has oddly grown on me. Like a fucking fungus. But it's grown on me. Tyler Bate is always great. But holy shit, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I would be telling you that I actually give a shit about this feud. I don't. And that's not because they're not great wrestlers. Chase U is entertaining as shit. I love Tyler Bate. But at the end of the fucking day, the Schism character and the whole Schism group, it's just fucking lame. It's boring. It's legitimately a fucking knockoff of the classic Wyatt family. Why am I going to invest my time in someone like a Joe Gacy if the character that he's playing has been portrayed a hell of a lot better than what we've seen of him right now? It's been portrayed a hell of a lot better in the past than what he's doing right now with Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed. Holy shit, Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed. You know what we need? We need Zach Gibson. We need Liverpool's #1. I fucking dropped my pen. This is how much I fucking care. This is how much this show has messed me up. I'm dropping my fucking pen all over the place. We need Liverpool's #1, Zach Gibson and James Drake back. We need the fucking grizzled young veterans back. I'm not sure if many of you know this. But the grizzled young veterans were a part of one of the best matches of the year back in 2019 with Gallus and Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Those three teams put on a fucking match of the year candidate back at NXT TakeOver Cardiff and absolutely fucking obliterated anything and everything that we saw at SummerSlam and WrestleMania of that year. Fucking phenomenal triple threat tag team match. That's what we need. We need to get rid of this fucking Jagger Reed thing and this fucking Rip Fowler thing and the fucking Schism. We need to get rid of that shit. The character is fucking lame. If anything, Schism, and the fucking Bray Wyatt-esque shit that we're getting, that right there is what we need from Bray Wyatt right now. That's what we need from Bray Wyatt right now. Now, ultimately, these 8 individuals could end up shutting my fucking mouth. Ultimately, they could end up shutting my fucking mouth, and we could end up getting a very entertaining match. But based on the feud that we've seen, I'm not going to sit here and say, yep, this belongs on Stand and Deliver. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't understand why we couldn't get Tyler Bate versus somebody else. I'm not sure why we couldn't get a Tyler Bate versus potentially a Tony D'Angelo. Why we couldn't get that? Why can't we get Tyler Bate versus a fucking Dijak? Why isn't Dijak on this show? Why can't we get Tyler Bate and put those two on the fucking show and have them go at it? That would be a great match for both men. Really would be. Why can't we get that? Why do we need to get fucking Schism on the show? Schism is one of the worst acts in all of WWE right now. They may be one of the worst acts in all of the fucking wrestling industry, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Why do we need Schism on the show? Here's a spoiler for you. We don't. But I am not going to discredit them as professional wrestlers, and if I'm going to be quite honest with you, there's a small part of me that actually hopes that they shut my mouth. There's a small part of me that actually hopes they shut my mouth, they prove me wrong, and in the end, we could end up getting a pretty entertaining match in the end of all of it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, this belongs on the show. It doesn't. Now, if you ask me, based on this entire feud and the fact that this match is for the rights of Chase U, it only makes fucking sense for Chase U to win. Only makes sense for Chase U to win. This is a predictable match, but it could be entertaining. I think that all 8 of these individuals are pretty decent wrestlers. Not Ava Raine. I really haven't seen anything from Ava Raine. I think this is their first match. Ava Raine's first match, if I'm not mistaken. But out of the 2 choices, Schism and Tyler Bate and Chase U, I'm going with Tyler Bate and Chase U. No reason for Chase U to lose the Chase U University rules and the rights to Chase U. No reason for them to lose it to fucking Schism. They really need to get Schism a new character. Really. They need to give him a new direction. They need to give him new characters. Joe Gacy, he may be a great wrestler, but holy shit, I mean, he was better on the fucking indies when I didn't fucking know about him. I didn't know jack shit from him on the indies, but he was better on the fucking indies than he is here in NXT. Fuck did they do to him? Main event. We have come to the main event. Hope you guys have had a fun stream so far. Main event. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. This is actually probably the most excited I've been for an NXT main event in quite some time. And the reason being is because this match feels like a very symbolic match. It's almost like these two were kept apart deliberately because they had a plan to make these two individuals the top two prospects in this new era of NXT. And crazy enough, both of them succeeded. Both of them succeeded, and both of them rose to prominence in their own way. And after everything that these two have been through, and the fact that what they're saying is true, they've legitimately beaten everyone there is to beat. They've beaten everyone there is to beat. There's nowhere left to go. There is nowhere left to go. Now, we have ourselves one symbolic match, and I do have a feeling that this will be the crowning achievement of Carmelo Hayes. This will indeed be the crowning achievement for Carmelo Hayes, and Braun Breaker will be going up to the main roster. I'm not sure where he's going to go. Raw, and SmackDown, they could both use some star power. I mean, if he goes to SmackDown, he's got a decent opportunity to potentially win the Intercontinental Championship within due time. If you ask me, I would love to fucking see LA Knight win the Intercontinental Championship from Sheamus. Because Sheamus, he's inevitably taking that title from Gunther at WrestleMania in that triple threat match with Gunther and McIntyre. Sheamus takes the championship. LA Knight wins it. You can give us LA Knight versus Braun Breaker at next year's WrestleMania with Braun Breaker winning his first championship. Slow build. There's no reason to rush Braun Breaker. He's 25 years old. And you know what? Keeping him in NXT with the NXT championship was probably one of the best decisions that they've made. He should have never lost the championship to Dolph Ziggler only to win it back. But regardless of that, I'm very, very happy at the fact that they decided to keep him in NXT for another year. Because he just was not ready for the main roster yet. He wasn't ready. He was not ready, and it was not going to favor well if they were to bring him up too soon. Because in the end, Braun Breaker, being as young as he is, you don't want to run into another 2016, 2017 Roman Reigns incident. They didn't do that. They kept him in NXT. Carmelo Hayes, he was in the NXT North American Championship title picture for quite some time. Now he's finally in the main event scene. This is going to be the symbolic changing of the guard with Carmelo inevitably beating Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes is going to be the new king of NXT, and it's going to be a very, very, very fun time. It is indeed going to be a very fun time. I think it's going to be a great role for Carmelo. I think Carmelo is going to take the ball, he's going to run with it, and he's going to run very, very well with it. He has superseded everyone's expectations from the jump, and Carmelo Hayes, the guy, you know, when he says, I am him, when Carmelo Hayes says, I am him, that's not just a fancy fucking catchphrase. That's truth. When Carmelo Hayes says he is him, he is fucking him. He is that good. He can stand on his own 2 feet, and you will believe in him and everything that he does and everything that he says. Carmelo Hayes is your new NXT champion, and I'm very, very excited to see what these two produce. We're just approaching an hour, and it looks like we are through here. That wraps up this edition of the Rundown for NXT Stand and Deliver 2022. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who were very, very patient with me in this new setting here, considering the old one is doing some re-innovation. I hope you guys had a very, very, very fun time. Thank you to everyone who stopped on by. We got a decent little crowd here on this Tuesday evening. I see we got Alex Mercado, we got Earl, we got Dylan, we got Philly Sports Talk Podcast, we got Dee, we got Peanuts as well. We got ourselves Julitza. She showed face in the beginning. Once again, a happy birthday to Chad Schrader, celebrating his 29th birthday. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. You guys were fantastic from the jump. Do not forget, this Thursday, it is going to be the rundown for WrestleMania 39 with my boy Mac, the Giants fan. He's going to be coming back on the channel for the first time since Crown Jewel. That was when I had him on last. So shout out to Mac, the Giants fan. He is awesome at what he does. Cannot wait to have him back on. Shout out to Jay Alletto as well. Jay Alletto was awesome. He was my guest this past Sunday for the rundown for Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, of course, is streaming live on Bleacher Report this Friday, March 31st. So shout out to Jay Alletto. If you missed the rundown for Supercard of Honor, please go check that out in the description. Dual Rewind on Saturday, April 1st at none other than 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, on Sunday, the most important day in human history, which is my birthday, I will be going live at 2 p.m. for the rewind for WrestleMania Night Number Uno. And then on April 3rd, next Monday at 2 p.m., it is Maniac Monday, and we will be going live on April 3rd at 2 p.m. for the rewind for WrestleMania Night Number Dos. So I hope you guys are ready for a busy week of DJ Storms. Also, tomorrow, actually, shout out to ISPW. Tomorrow, actually, before AEW Dynamite, I will be posting my vlog from ISPW Living in the Now. We had the rematch between Crowbar and Rick Recon. Speaking of Crowbar and Rick Recon, they will be having their rubber match on April 14th in West Milford, New Jersey, and it will be contested inside of a steel cage. I will be there live. It is going to be one hell of a fucking night and one hell of a fucking match. Cannot wait to see that. But the vlog from ISPW Living in the Now will be going up tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the rundown. But before we get out of here, people, there's a universal question that everybody must answer. A very, very important question, to say the least. That question is, who runs the IWC? I want to see everyone type it. Everybody better type it in the chat. People, who runs the IWC? I'm going to take a sip of my refresh water straight from Acme while you answer that question. I will tell ya who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you forget it, people. Don't you forget it.